Welcome back. Got to do this all over again. Record button didn't work. Right, this is going to be the last video on this pickup truck for a wee while. I don't want to keep focusing on this because you guys are getting bored. I'm looking at the numbers and you're getting bored. There's loads of work to do, but I ain't doing it on camera. I'm going to do it off camera unless you insist, which means you have to leave a comment, and none of you seem to be too enthusiastic on comments just lately. For the ones that you have commented though, I'd like to say thank you, because I do like the old comments and the thumbs up as well. Again, appreciate it. So where are we at? Right, that post that I was talking about, guess what, we're not doing it. Instead, I've taken out the trim all the way down and I've drilled some holes in the trim and I'm putting P-clips in, so I'm wrapping this in that, if you can see it in the car, and I'm going to have a steel box riveted onto the wing, and I'm going to go straight in, so it's going to come down on that inside edge and that's going to go straight in. That way it gives me room if I want to put a snorkel on this at a later date. That pole is going to be a nuisance, if I'm honest. I've been thinking quite hard about that and it's going to be a nuisance. So today's job is that. Then we're going to put those pieces on, paint them all up, and then I think we're just going to leave it at that for the time being. Not going to do any more of this because we've now got to start thinking about what is next. What is next on the channel? We've elaborated on that for over 6 months, haven't we, that pickup? So maybe it's time we need to get back to this. This is in desperate need of some paint. I am also in desperate need of clearing this garden up. I now have an automatic gearbox, but needs some money spent on it, and I was kind of debating whether to take the 2.5 engine out of that and put a Ford V6 in, carburettor, and run an auto box. There is room for it in there. I don't have any spare V8s because I was going to do those two V8s up. They're too far gone financially, and carburettor kits for SUs, 200 quid a piece. Now I have two SUs in there and I am not happy about that one little bit. I was actually talking to the wife about it a little while back. So I'm thinking about putting a Holley carb on it instead. Got my eye on one. I came off a 5.7 V8, but who knows? I need to find out what the CFM is on this engine to whether it will work or not. There are other carburetors I can put on it, but yeah, I think because I just don't want SUs on here, I'm thinking a Holley. But I need one that can do off-roading because some Holleys just can't cope with it. So I'm thinking about a marine one, and that is what I've got my eye on at the moment. So paint, windscreen, electrics, engine management, i.e. a carburettor that works and a pump that works. I have my eyes on such items. Or do we get the Vegas on the road as a trike? I ask myself this every time I come in the shed. There she is, but we have a problem with it. She's a little bit knackered. The fuel system. I noted the other week when I was trying to fire it up, when it wouldn't fire up, the tank's gone rusty inside. And I don't think you can get anything in there to clean the rust out. I mean, yeah, I know the old nut and bolt trick, the sand bit, you know, the large boulders, and then put the sealant in, but modern fuels keep changing and the sealers have to be changed with it. So I need to buy a new fuel tank for that possibly, and then I've got to go through all the injectors and clean them all out if they haven't got too hard. That's the problem, and then that means extra expense. Now, do I just count my losses, sell it as is, going concern, a couple of thousand is worth, I would imagine, and then use the money to get something a little bit more simpler, because this is a belt drive. This is a headache to me, massive headache. But man, the engineering involved in this, I love this bike, I don't want to get rid of it. It's as close as I've ever got to owning an Indian. It's a victory, but Polaris have bought Indian, so Indians are now starting to be turned out with similar components. Don't know why. Basically, they've gone from Victory to Indian, I think, something like that. Don't quote me on it. I'm probably way wrong. But I like this machine and I don't want to get rid of it. but I'm not sure I can afford to repair it when it go wrong. So we've got that to sort out. We've got this to get on the road. I think that's now tax exempt. I just need to send the paperwork off, but also the body for the camper that I want to build. Anyway, going back to the pickup truck. There is the piece of alley. I have took it off. I have I've ground in the edge, because this is just a plastic coating over a piece of stainless, I think, and I've drilled in, put some flat screws in with some bolts, and I'm just literally going to take a P-clip and clip it on that way, like so, and then thread the tube through, and now I've got to make a little triangular shaped type box where the plug, this here, the gland, can go in. I don't want it to go in that way, because that means the pipe will come across down, and that's got to go up to go in, and that's going to look a bugger. I think it's best to go in at that angle, like so, but to do that I need a box, and I'm telling you, it's really, really hot in here. The problem is I have an iron roof and the sun is beaming on it, and that heat is transferring through the rest of the shed. I have iron behind that wall there as well. It is hot in here, guys. I'm telling you, I've only stood in here for 5 minutes. I've already started sweating already, and I hate sweating, hate it. So I need to get a move on and stop gas bagging. Picked this up at Boot Sale today, 10 quid. Quite pleased with that. See how long it takes before I lose it. And another thing I picked up from the Boot Sale this morning was these US Pro Tools extensions in their own little case. They were 25 quid. Quite pleased with them and all. He had some ratchet spanners, but you know, the larger size sockets, like the 30s and 40s size sockets, bolts, I couldn't afford them. He wanted 90 quid for that. I couldn't afford it. I mean, we're talking bigger than 22s, I can tell you. So yeah, right, bit of a random thing, that, isn't it? Moving on. And there you go. So I just got to get a rubber gasket for the bottom, drill some rivet holes, and that can be painted in black bed liner and be included in the inventory of everything else. Now, while we're doing that, we'll get those suckers painted up, and I think we'll get them on tomorrow as well. So we'll thread the P-clips into the plastic trim first, get that wiring all sorted out, get it cut to where we're putting this, and then tomorrow that should be ready to rivet onto the wing, and we should be good to go. Let's just hope somebody don't come along and cut my wires overnight just for the sheer hatred of it. There are some out there that would do that. Okay, so there it is, hole drilled, painted, they're done. I didn't spray it, I ended up stippling it with the brush in the end, just because I didn't want to, I couldn't be arsed, I didn't want to waste all that paint. I've got to put the catalyst with it, you see, and I end up half a can left over, and what a waste. So they will go on tomorrow. If I can get that on tonight I will, but if I can't, that also will be tomorrow. So the old heat is getting to him. Hot in it, bud. Huh? It's hot in it. Yeah. Here we go. And I have one clip that is completely wrong. So that is kind of how it's going to go. I've just got to somehow find a way of clipping that one up so it don't hit the paint. I think that'll be alright. We'll get the box in tomorrow, and then we'll get that lot wired in, or what we can reach anyway. There you go. Now that, to me, looks a lot neater. I just need to retouch in the paint a bit, because I kind of cocked it up. Those pieces have been done as well. They've got to go on a little while. I drilled a hole through the bonnet and managed to lose the drill bit inside, so at some point I've got to retrieve that. It's not everyone's taste, so I fully understand that. But I thought, do you know what, that is better than putting a pole on the side. But not only that, you see, if I decide to go snorkeling with this, I can now cut a hole in here, run it along and run it up, and there's no pole to get in the way. And that's the reason behind it. the only reason behind it. Right, they're wired in. I've done the lights, and just the lights for the moment. The aerials will come later. I've just got to run out of time on them. Wiring's a bit of a mess. We could do with tying them up a bit more. That terminal's loose for some reason. So yeah, I will demonstrate when it's dark. That is quite impressive. It's so blurry. And that's what it looked like. I don't know, you tell me. Some of you are probably laughing at that, and that's fine. I don't have an issue with that, but I like it. I'm pleased with it. I will need to put some touch-up paint around it tomorrow because I scratched it. She's very rugged, and it's the look I was after. Now we've just got to get these all bed lined up. We've got to get this in the front garden at some point, get that tub off, clean up all the chassis at the back, because the back is worse than the middle, and sort all that rust out. So they're the next jobs coming soon, but not right this moment. I am just going to nip round with some sealant on the roof rack, seal that down. She could really do with a wash. Even though she's got scratched up paint and dents, she still could do with a wash. We were going to fit those today, but they don't fit. I have completely messed up on the distances of those brackets there, so I can't do anything. That's it. Now we could thread the CB wire through and get the CB wired in, but I really don't need it at the moment, so there's just no point to it. So I think we're going to call it. Not much more I can do. So I think the next things we're going to look at is possibly chopping the trike up, because we don't want it no more, and nobody wanted to buy it, so that'll get cut up, and I now want to start concentrating on this. I need to get this at the top of the garden at some point, so I need to clear up there. And I want to get some paint on it this year, at least get some paint on it, get a window put in. And I'm also looking at changing the SU carbs for a holly, so I'm looking for a cheap holly to work on it. Once we get it up here, we can roll the paint on, spray the paint on. I mean, whatever we need to do, we can do it better up here than we can down there. So I think the first job is to get rid of all my scrap iron that's lying around. I've got a back end of a Ferrari, which I think I might put on Facebook just to get a shot of the thing. If not, I'll have to scrap it. That was being used. I've said nobody believes me, so there's no point really, but for the record, that is the one Jeremy Clarkson drove into a barn, Perfect Road Trip 2, that the BBC recorded. I have the engine for that somewhere as well. Old Fario, or whatever the hell they call them, Ferrari replica. That turned up at the scrapyard, and Bickers Actions doesn't like their vehicles being recycled. I'm lucky to get it, but proving it, that was the difficult bit. I have the registration up on my wall, but they've reused the registration on another vehicle. So anyway, that's kind of it. So the numbers are low on the pickup truck. I get it. I've been so busy with the dog. Videos have come out a little on the slow side, and probably not on the very interesting side for some. But all the same, some of you have took the effort to comment, and you've took the effort to press the like button, which I like a lot. So for that, thank you. And all I can say is we'll see what we do next time round. I shan't be doing any more filming on that car for a while until I start the body for the camper, so that's something that will get filmed, but the rest of what I do on that, I'm going to keep it to myself. And we are going to have a Green Lane day, which I shall record and put that up on the internet. That should be quite fun, because there's others that want to come with that. Other people want to come, so yeah, look forward to that. Anyway, see you next time. You have a good time. Bye-bye. Bad an idea. Rather a good idea. There is a nasty gap here I've never liked. I've always felt that needed to go a little further under and it in. So what I'm thinking of doing is making up a tin plate to go over the top, and then I mould around the side of here at a tin. So with the bead roller we'll bend a few bits, and then we'll literally screw it down and screw it around, and then we'll weld where we have to, so that part becomes a separate part, and then we can bolt that other part of it to the tin where I've already drilled. And that is the best I can come up with now. I can film that if people want to see that happen, so if you do, leave a comment about it and I'll see what I can come up with. If you don't want it, I won't bother. I'll just do it, and that'll be the end of it, and nobody will know what I did and how I did it. So, let me know. Catch you later.